this video. Demystifies whatever fears you have about going for flight attendant training. In today's video, I will be reacting to a video about flight attendant training. How do flight attendants get trained? The core of our job is all safety and emergency related. Essentially, we're safety personnel in the sky. This short documentary that was created by Business Insider on YouTube. I will leave a link to this video in the description box. Let's get into it.
Stay seated.
Evacuate. Evacuate.
Seatbelt. Leave everything. Side exit.
So before this continues, bear in mind that, guys, we are trained on this. So this is an emergency drill, and it's literally part of our flight attendant training. And we're supposed to be able to do this emergency evacuation within 90 seconds. So when I said flight attendant training was difficult, this is what I'm talking about, okay?
Go back.
You could have no obstruction, no fire, no water, go to open your exit, and it doesn't work. It's jammed. A lot of the times, I think the perception is that we're waitresses in the sky. First and foremost, we are safety professionals.
Let's go back a bit.
Is that we're waitresses in the sky. First and foremost, we are safety professionals. Anything that can happen.
Like what she said, the fact that anything that can happen on the ground can happen in the air. And the difference is that on the ground, you have ground support. So that should tell you the importance or how severe or how critical our roles are in the air. Okay.
And it doesn't work. It's jammed. A lot of the times, I think the perception is that we're waitresses in the sky. First and foremost, we are safety professionals. Anything that can happen on the ground can happen in the air. Show you what it takes to be a Delta Airlines flight attendant. A lot of magic happens down here in the training center. Over 195.
This is bringing back so many memories, y'all. It's
5,000 applications come into Delta Airlines, and of those, 3,000 for this year alone will get to come through these doors and be a Delta Airlines flight attendant. Initial flight attendant training is 6 weeks of intense training.
So just a heads up, guys, this training has changed. It's no longer 6 weeks. I believe it's now 7 weeks. Mine was 6 weeks, but it's no longer 6 weeks.
Start here in week 1, and they learn about the foundations of Delta Airlines. And then we go to week 3, and those are non-phase specific things like security, emergency management, medical situations that could happen on board the aircraft. And then week 6, it's all about customer service. And so within those 6 weeks, we have a fully rounded Delta Airlines flight attendant who is ready to go out there on any aircraft.
And if you're planning on going, if you're getting ready to go to training, bear in mind that the 6 weeks or the current 7 weeks of training that you have, remember that only week 6 literally talks about customer service and service. About 5 weeks and more was spent more on safety, emergency, medical training.
This area is what we call our mock-up areas, and these are aircraft that have been cut out from the desert. They've shipped them here, and our flight attendants go into these mock-ups and they practice different types of scenarios. A lot of what we do is very customer service driven. Flight attendants are able to balance that customer service piece as well as being mindful of any type of emergency situation that could happen on board the aircraft. Studio is where we have all of our doors, windows, tail cone exits. I'll talk through an evacuation here. After we've boarded the aircraft and we're ready to go, Trell is going to arm this door, which means if we open the door armed, we're going to get slide deployment. When we practice our evacuation...
So I'm showing you all this video because I had so many people constantly ask me questions about training, how training was, what actually happened. One thing about the flight attendant training is that it's very specific, it's very direct, extremely practical. If you don't apply yourself, you will get lost in the sauce. So because of how serious and critical the role is and our functions are, especially when it comes to these medical and emergency drills and stuff like that and safety stuff, everything has to be methodical. Everything has to be kind of robotic in a way, although it's not necessarily robotic because there's certain circumstances that might change your reaction or your response to certain situations. Physically intensive.
All right, Trell, you ready? No pressure. No pressure. Here we go.
Freeze. 4. Landing.
Bend over. Stay down. Stay seated.
Stay seated.
Stay seated. She's thinking about her commands, where her exits are. She's thinking about how to operate those exits, where her emergency equipment is. She's also thinking about people that got on board that could help her in an emergency. She's also going to think about the people that got on who might need her assistance. We do want things.
Some of the reasons why flight attendant training is sometimes intense or was intense is not necessarily because the content or the training was difficult. It's just the time frame that you have to be able to take in all the information and reproduce to become to be held accountable to them. So I think in conditions are usually not the best case scenario, but I feel like conditions are set up that way because in the event of an emergency, conditions are not going to be the best case scenario. It sets you up for the job itself.
Thinking flight attendants, we do operate with a lot of checklists, but in the end, sometimes things come down to a judgment call. We travel to different time zones, different countries, and maybe we can't sleep. And then you're expected to make good judgment calls, and you're expected to remember all your training and respond to emergencies and be Delta gracious and patient and all of that on lack of sleep as well sometimes. We are going to head to our motion-based trainer. It is our one and only trainer.
Sorry guys, but I have to jump in. Okay, this is a reaction video, so I'm going to be popping in and out. But when we went through this drill, right, where the plane was actually simulating an emergency landing, like us literally about to have an emergency landing. And when you see this, or once you go through the training, you kind of realize how vital our roles are and how important training is and why we constantly have to go back to get recertified. Our jobs are literally high risk. The risk might not happen often, but when they do, it's an all or nothing scenario. That is why training is very, very important. So those of you who are out there preparing to go for training, please, when you go, take it seriously.
That does shake, does move. Our flight attendants have a week of training for emergencies that could happen on board the aircraft and learning our different types of commands. This is one of them.
Evacuate. Evacuate.
Seatbelt. Leave everything. Bad exit. Go back.
Come this way, leave everything, jump and slide. If you don't.
So note that when it comes to these evacuation or the flight attendant training, although if I haven't worked with another airline, I've only been with one airline, but I've heard from other flight attendants who have worked with multiple airlines that the material is not necessarily super different. It's just that certain wordings in the commands or certain processes are a little bit different or more customized to suit that particular airline in question, but it's similar or close enough to similar across board. So although this might be for a specific airline, I'm saying this because you should expect something similar.
Stay calm, then your anxiety will feed off of that person. It's definitely important to make sure you stay calm. Now, welcome to our ditching mock-up. We have a 767 mock-up and the flight attendants have on their life vest.
Side note, guys, I literally have a photo of me jumping out of this plane. Out of the aircraft into the pool. Okay, I think I might use that as my thumbnail, but yes, I literally have a photo of me jumping out. I think our instructors were very nice. They actually took photos of us so we can have photos of the moment that we spent during training. So that was pretty cool.
And they jump right in and they work together as a team to handle ditching, getting into a raft, helping each other stay warm while they're waiting for rescue. We like to take flight attendants, train them in these particular scenarios with the hope that they can take that knowledge and transfer it out to a real live aircraft. And when those situations happen in real life, their training kicks in. One of our most common emergencies is medical emergencies. When there's someone
I will want to add that, I'm sorry guys, but anybody who's done real CPR training knows that especially to do it properly requires a lot of effort in balancing your body weight on your arms, essentially. So this training kicked in, and surprisingly, when I had that emergency happen, the following day was me going back to a facility to get recertified for my CPR and other emergency training. So it was kind of interesting to see that I literally had a medical emergency where I had to provide CPR. And then right after that, the next day, I literally had to go for recertification.
Who has a heart attack in the aisle? I know where the medical equipment is on board the aircraft, and I'm fully able to handle those types of situations. Are you okay? Are you okay? I'm Patrice, I'm a flight attendant, I can help. Typically on the aircraft, there would be 3 of us involved in this scenario. There would be an assessor,
a collector, and a communicator. I was the assessor. Cheryl was my collector. She brought me my equipment, and then she stayed with me the whole time. The third person that we would usually have is our communicator. Communicator is going to be talking to the flight deck. They're going to be paging for medical assistance. They're going to be trying to get in touch with StatMD. They're going to be filling out our medical assistance form or helping us do that in some way. Clear?
And if you're watching this video and you're considering being a flight attendant or you're going through the application process, if you've watched any of my videos talking about how to pass your in-person interview or your event day, I talk about being able to work, being a team player or being able to work on a team, and also talking about being independent and being able to own your own. But when I talk about being a team player, this is what I'm talking about, because a lot of the things that we have to deal with requires team effort.
Stop now.
Clear?
Do not touch the patient.
Anything that can happen on the ground can happen in the air. So we have to be mindful of always being gracious, but in the back of our mind, always thinking of the other things that could possibly happen on board the aircraft, and knowing that we're fully trained to handle any type of situation. Flight attendants have to maintain a 90% average within the 6 assessments that they take.
But once a flight attendant leaves and graduates and is a flight attendant flying out there on the line, their training isn't over. We have something called continuing qualification, and that is where
That is a requalification thing that I was talking about, guys.
flight attendants that are qualified and out there flying have to requalify every 18 months. They come back to training and they do have to be proficient in their door evacuations, in their EMV scenario.
That they're able to handle any situation.
Y'all like that now, don't you? Yes, I feel good about that.
All right.
So I know this video does not necessarily tell you how things will be or exactly how things will go for you, but trust me, if you watch this video before you go for your training, that is if you've been assigned a training date and everything, congratulations, by the way. Once you get there, you would understand why I'm asking you to watch this video, because I think it demystifies whatever fears you have about going for flight attendant training and what potentially you should expect. Please check it out. Before I end this video, I'm just going to add that I'm in no way representing this airline. I am in no way promoting this airline. I'm not asking anybody to go work for this airline. I am just sharing my opinion on a video that has been created about flight attendant training, and I can relate to this content in the sense that I was trained as a flight attendant as well. It is public, so go ahead and check it out. Once again, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If anyone reminiscing about their flight attendant training days, let me know in the comment section below. But yeah, I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.